it on the level. Keep it on the level. I'm climbing up the.
What's going on, Nasteey Nation? It's Nasteey, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a coaching session VOD review for a Diamond 1 player. In other words, I'm going to be doing a VOD review for myself. So I've actually been struggling a bit as of recently, ever since I peaked in Challenger earlier in this season. I've been struggling. I've demoted all the way down to Diamond now, and this is a game I played very recently. I feel like I did okay in this game, but I did go on to lose this game, so I wanted to go back, watch the replay, kind of figure out what I did wrong, what I could have done better, and overall just try to improve as a player so I can try to make my way back towards Challenger and hopefully end Challenger at the end of the season. If this is a video that you guys do go on to enjoy or like or find helpful, then be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Also, if this is something that you're interested in having done for yourself, I haven't been doing a whole lot of coaching as of recently, but I am always willing to try things out. And if this is something that one of you guys think that you would be interested in, feel free to go down to the links down in the description. You guys can message me on Twitter, Discord, or through my email to book a coaching session, a one-on-one coaching session, or a VOD review. Information for either types of those coaching sessions can be found down in the description below. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and get into this game now. We have a Nami Ashe lane versus a Senna Mordekaiser lane. Pretty standard stuff on our side. Their side is a little bit weird. Mordekaiser ADC is something that you will see from time to time. It used to be a lot more meta a while ago. These days, not quite as meta. But the reason that it's going to work here is because of the fasting Senna strategy. So essentially, Mordekaiser should be able to get super buffed up, while Senna is also getting buffed up from the souls or the mist that she's gaining. Mordekaiser is, of course, going to be getting the gold in this lane. So very early on, I have no idea where the jungler is, and my kind of philosophy that I like to use is if you have 2 wards in your inventory, then you're probably doing something wrong. So I go ahead and I just go ahead and drop 1 ward off right there. I'm not really expecting us to get ganked, but because we are pushed up a little bit closer to their tower right now, Wave's not in a fantastic position, I wanted to go ahead and get that ward down. Other than that, we're not doing anything too crazy right now. I'm going to go ahead and walk forward and get that relic. As you notice there, I did back off just like a slight second before I got it, because I was afraid I might get engaged on. I was able to eventually walk up and get the relic safely. I am playing back in this lane because, well, first of all, I don't really think we have a whole lot of kill potential in this lane. Nami has potential to kind of chunk people and trade with people and sustain, but she doesn't really go for kills all too much. Ashe, on the other hand, is not necessarily a lane bully. She's kind of the same as Nami in the sense that she can also go for small trades and she can poke and stuff like that with her W. But we're not really looking to play super aggressive. On top of that, like I already mentioned, the lane was in a bad spot. Now we're letting it push. So I don't actually remember how this game goes all too much, but I do know that the lane was pretty boring, if I recall. And that is a little unfortunate because in a losing game, you usually want to try to do everything you can to win. And I feel like in this game, we just weren't in a position with the lane matchup that we had to actually play aggressive. Right here, I think one thing I could have done, I'll go ahead and pause for the first time and go ahead and talk about something I could have done differently right there. One thing I could have done right there is go ahead and I should have went ahead and pinged that they were missing, because I think the play that they were going for, and I have Fog of War turned off so that I can't see them. I believe what they were trying to do there was rotate over towards the Scuttle Crab and take Scuttle from our J4. And that would have been a lot of trouble if they did actually go that direction, because J4 is on Scuttle right now. So that's one thing I did bad. I definitely should have pinged that. I don't think rotating is a good idea there, because we'd be walking into River blind. But pinging that is one thing I could have done better there for sure. One thing I did do good, though, is if I go ahead and back up, we can point out the fact that when they did disappear for just a split second, I actually did a good job of getting on top of the wave and getting a nice little freeze for us here. And just to prevent myself from taking extra damage, I even got a bubble on a bunch of them. So that's why I actually think they didn't rotate over to Scuttle, is because I was able to freeze the wave and they wanted to try to get back and prevent it in time. They weren't able to, and that ended up paying off. What they did probably do, though, was get a ward off when they walked that direction. So again, going back to the same mistake that I already mentioned, not only should I have pinged that they were rotating towards Scuttle, but I also should have pinged that because they walked that direction, it's very, very likely that they got a ward down in that bush. So by pinging that, I could have prevented a couple seconds of J4's time, a couple seconds of our time. At the end of the day, that's not going to be a huge problem. I don't think me not pinging there and wasting a couple seconds of our time is going to make a huge difference. But it definitely would have helped. Another trend that I believe you'll see throughout this game is the fact that Ashe gets caught out a lot like that. I'm going to go ahead and let this play out and then go back and watch it again. I think this started pretty poorly because Ashe got caught out, but then we're able to recover just because I think not only I played it well, but also we have the gank coming in. So Ashe is already in a little trouble. She got rooted. The root is on cooldown right now, but Mordekaiser's going to look for an engage in just a second here. I'm doing a good job of keeping my distance right here. If we go ahead and pause, I have a decent range. I'm staying back where I should be. With this minion and this minion about to die right now, I believe Ashe should actually be positioned somewhere over here because she can last hit these minions safely. But we're not here to criticize her. We're here to criticize me. Let's see what I do here. I do a good job of peeling. I use W on her first to make sure she lives. I then cast E on her to grant bonus movement speed. My next focus is on the Senna because I don't want her to be able to follow up. So I bubble here. Catch her. Now I know J4 is coming in, so I continue to trade. I walk forward. Right here I'm going to use the exhaust. Not because it's going to make it so that she can't kill us, but I want to make sure that we're able to land any skill shots we have on her right now. And instead she wastes flash. We get a kill there. So about 5 minutes into this game, actually just above 5 minutes. So far, I think we're playing pretty good. The only mistake that I've been able to point out so far is my lack of pings. But other than that, playing pretty good. I think right now what we should do is I should be pushing this wave in as hard as possible. I do that. I don't know if we push this in fast enough. Now it looks like we're going to greed for a dragon. Again, I don't remember this game too well, so I don't know how this plays out. This is a little greedy just because we don't have eyes on the mid laner. We don't have eyes on the jungler. First dragon does die pretty easily, though. We do get this, but another thing that I did notice is this dragon that we go for right here actually allows Mordekaiser to kind of fix the wave. And I don't think he actually missed all too much CS there. I don't think that's the end of the world because we did trade it for a dragon. But pushing the wave in there, I think we could have taken a few more seconds of our time right there just to make sure that we walked the wave in, because I believe what happened, and I wasn't looking at Mordekaiser, so I just have to assume here, I believe what happened is we tried to push the wave in as fast as possible and then rotate over to the dragon, but as soon as we pushed in the wave, we walked over to dragon and Mordekaiser just caught the wave. So next time, I think what I should do instead is make sure that we push in the wave, but then also walk the wave all the way up to the tower, and if Mordekaiser tries to freeze it in a situation like that, we could punish him or kill him, but more times than not, he'll probably just back off, and then we can get over to the dragon. It would have been a little risky just because J4 was already starting it, and again, we didn't know where mid and jungle was, but I do think that's still the safer play and the smarter play, and hopefully J4 is safe and he can kind of just stall out and wait for us. Right now, we can go ahead and take a look at the gold lead. We're up almost 1,000 gold on Senna, but again, she's the support. So swapping that around, I'm up about 150 gold on her, and our ADC matchup is about 600 gold or something like that. So we're in a good spot. Looking at the items, we came back with tier 2 boots on Ashe. I came back with half of my Athenes, so we're in a good spot. Sen, on the other hand, just has a couple long swords, and Mordekaiser has that 900 gold item. Right here, we go for a good trade. Nothing to point out there. Do I have a ward on me? Because if I do, hopefully I should get a ward on Tribush, and I do that right now. So the reason I think that getting a ward on Tribush right there is a good idea is because we last saw their jungler topside, and I think they got a kill up there. So I'm assuming what he's trying to do here is, as soon as he's fighting top, immediately leaves bot. Right here, we go for a really greedy control ward on Tribush, and we back off, and I think that's the right play. So my ADC is going to continue to go after the control ward, but this is what I want to talk about I want to talk quickly about why backing off there is the right play. So this Tribush control ward is really, really common. You'll see it in pretty much every single game, no matter what elo you're playing in. And the thing is people, for some reason, even though a control ward is only 75 gold, people really struggle to sacrifice a control ward. So anytime you see people walking over to this control ward, you don't always have to contest it. Sometimes it's okay to let them waste their time trying to contest a control ward, and they're going to waste a lot of time essentially just trying to save 75 gold. So I think the correct thing for us to do here is not this wave, the wave that's about to die right here. What we did is we tried to push this wave into tower, rotate over to Tribush, and take the ward. What ended up happening is we pushed this wave in, and they rotated up. So what we do is we just back off there, like I did, and what happens is they have to choose between contesting this or losing the wave. And that's exactly what happens. They missed the first 3 minions or something like that. Mordekaiser was able to catch this wave, or the second half of this wave, just because it's a cannon wave. But other than that, I think what we're supposed to do is a rinse and repeat of that. And I think I did the correct play in doing so. Instead, Ashe ends up getting picked here, going for a control ward that we really didn't need to contest. I'm going to go ahead and let this fight play out and then go back and watch the second half of this. This part I do remember, actually, unfortunately, and as much as I would like to stop watching right now, we have to watch that fail flash, and I'm actually going to rewind and watch it one more time. So this is my problem here. I was just doing a really good job of kind of complimenting myself on all the things that I did right here, and what I mean by that is the thing I was doing right was not going to contest that Tribush because there's no point. I should let them waste their time. Here, if you pause right here, I don't see any way that Ashe ever lives in this situation. Not only is she 1 HP with Senna and Lee Sin right on top of him, but we also have Orianna rotating over. Sylas is nowhere to be seen. J4 coming with a flank, but still that's going to end up, once Ashe is dead, that'll end up being a 3-on-2, or if Mordekaiser rejoins this fight, a 4-on-2. So that's why this is a bad idea. So I think in this moment in time, what I need to do is just immediately book it. I should leave. I should be heading towards tower right now. The problem is Ashe uses heal, and I see Lee get low here, and for a very split second, I think that we actually have a chance of turning this. And that is my fault. That is very poor decision-making on my behalf. So I was heading towards tower, I immediately walk back. Now what happens is J4 walks in. Again, Lee Sin's low, so I'm still here. I'm trying to do stuff when in reality I should have just left my team to die. I get pulled in by Mordekaiser. I have flash, but I get ulted by Mordekaiser. The replay doesn't really do a good job of showing that. And what happens is the Mordekaiser ulti actually stops right around here, and I thought I had room to flash over this wall. Turns out I don't. I flash in place. So not only do I get myself killed staying in a fight that I shouldn't have been staying in, but I also waste a flash. So everything's been going good for the first 8 minutes, and right there, I put myself in a situation where we should have had 2 deaths on our side. Instead, it's a 3-0 for the enemy team instead of a 2-0. And also, because I died, I'm now late to lane. Ashe gets picked off for an extended 4-for-0 trade, and all of a sudden, a game that was looking really good for us, we're now down about 2,500 gold. And now I'm in this really weird spot, where as a support player, I'm left in lane by myself trying to farm, which isn't something you pretty much ever want to be doing as a support. If you find yourself in a situation like that, you're probably doing something wrong. So instead, what I decided to do is I say, I'm probably not getting anything done here in lane. Let me try to roam. So I head towards mid, but Sylas is nowhere to be seen. I'm just stuck here waiting in this pixel brush for a second. Finally, J4 catches up. I speed him up. Looks like we're going for this play on mid. I don't remember how this plays out. I'm a little late on my bubble. If she had flash, that would have been a lot of trouble. She did have flash, and she actually gets away. I think my Q was a little late there. I didn't actually get punished because she didn't flash it in time. Overall, though, I think that's an okay play. Again, though, this is all not ideally what I want to be doing. We had a lead just 2 minutes ago, and if we had played things correctly, I'm able to get back to lane. I still have flash. I meet up with my ADC. My ADC doesn't get picked again, and I'm not stuck in lane farming or roaming, essentially forcing myself to roam, I guess you could say. Because right there, that roam kind of worked out, but it just took so much time and effort. And the only reason that I ended up doing it is just because I had nothing better to do. So, a little unfortunate, all traces back to that poor decision-making that I had earlier. We're going to go ahead and speed this up. Top laner DC'd momentarily. I believe they come back. There they are. I don't really remember this game all too much, so I don't know what happens next. I believe that's the only death I have in this game, so I think mispositioning isn't something that we're going to be keeping an eye out for, but there's probably going to be a few other mistakes that I can point out in this game. Let's think right now. Should I have rotated in this situation? I think the Rift has already done its damage, so I think me staying mid here is a good idea. It'll hit that tower, but me being here isn't going to do anything different. I couldn't have stopped the first tower from falling. The second tower, I couldn't have stopped that from hitting. So I think I do a good job of staying in lane. Do I have any wards right now? Because it looks like we're pretty blind on the bot side of the map. I did just ward behind us, trying to prevent a dive from happening. I think that was a good idea. But overall, I don't have too many wards, so I think one problem we have right now is just our lack of vision, but that's not anything I could have done differently looking back at this game. Go ahead and speed things up now. Just a lot of farming. Camera jumped off me for some reason. Still a lot of farming. Ashe gets herself in a sticky situation. One thing I do right here, it's kind of weird, and I don't know if this is the right play that I should have done. Let's go back and watch it. So what I'm talking about here is I'm constantly afraid of Mordekaiser ulting me, and I think that is actually really bad. So something that you want to have is like this triangle right here. This triangle is really good for fighting. You always want to have like this line, like lined up with your ADC, and I think that's good. But then you see right here, what happens is I back off, and now I have this really ugly looking triangle. So I don't think Ashe should be here anyways because we don't have the minion wave. But at the same time, I don't think I should be this far back. I think Ashe should ideally be somewhere around here, and I should be somewhere around here. So this is mispositioning on both of our behalfs. But the reason I keep backing up is because I'm afraid of getting ulted by Mordekaiser. And what happens is because I'm so far back, I'm not able to punish Mordekaiser. And when I say punish, I don't mean like I could kill him here. But if I'm able to have like a triangle earlier, like the last second that I just showed, instead of me being able to hit this Mordekaiser auto, Q, W, whatever, instead I'm spending that time walking up because I was in that triangle formation. Again, I think it's kind of Ashe's fault and my fault. Ashe should have been a little further back. I should have been a little closer up. That's something I need to definitely keep an eye out for. It's a very brief moment where I messed up there. But again, something I want to keep an eye out for the rest of the game. Right now, because of that little pick that they had on Ashe, of course she didn't die, she didn't have to lose anything, but because she fell so low, I think we spend the next couple minutes just trying to sustain. I'm super low on mana, but every time I get my W up, I have no choice but to use it. I'm going to go ahead and slow this up and back it up, because I just noticed another mistake that I made here. So right here, we have a J4 gank coming in, and I think I was the one that actually asked for this. And right here, this is exactly what we want. We want Ashe to initiate with an ulti. It's point blank, and I should immediately Q after. And I don't know if this mistake right here was an accident, if I just wasn't reacting in time, or if I was trying to be too perfect with my CC chain, and that's what messed this CC layer up. So as you see here, I'm a little bit late on my Q, so what should have happened here is it should have been an Ashe ulti into a Nami Q for an extended CC chain, and then we just burst this Senna. But instead, because I messed up my Q, she's able to flash out, and then Ashe gets ulted, and now we have a super, super weird fight where I can't see Mordekaiser, I can't save Ashe. We eventually are able to get onto Senna, and I believe we do kill her here, and Ashe is able to live. But instead of having a free kill on Senna, and then being able to turn on Mordekaiser and Ashe being able to save her summoner spells, we have to spend all this time chasing after Senna. So if I had just layered my Q better there, I think this goes a lot smoother. Again, I'm kind of nitpicking here. At the end of the day, this play does go in our favor. We'll go ahead and watch that fail because, again, this is a coaching session, so let's watch all the mistakes that I make. Right here, I actually just go for a Q flash, trying to catch out on this Orianna. I knew she didn't have flash because I saw her flash earlier. And I'm just trying to make a desperation play because I know we're far behind. As you can see, we're behind 4K right now. I'm trying to make a desperation play, but the movement speed she has from her W is just a little bit too much. Honestly, right there, I wouldn't even consider that a mistake so much. Just because I think going for that play is a good idea. We kind of overchase right there. I think after the Q flash and I'm out of mana right here, we definitely should have backed up. This is a mistake on my team's behalf, but again, we're coaching myself here, so let's not ridicule them. Let's keep talking about myself. So just in that last minute or so, a couple mistakes I can point out. Mainly though, there's the triangle play that I was talking about, but the CC layering right there is definitely my fault. Could have saved us a lot of time and effort and summoner spells. I think what I need to do there is just keep in mind that it's better to be safe than sorry. So instead of trying to be 100% perfect with my CC layering, I just need to go for it. And if If the maximum CC layer we can get is 3 seconds, and I'm a little off and I make it so that it's 2.5, I don't think it's the end of the world. I think that'll help us more times than not. Right here, I have a nice sidestep. We're kind of in a position where we're about to get dove, so I don't remember what happens here. Looking at this, I think with our ultis down and our summoners down, we should have immediately left this tower. After all, they are pushing all the way into our inhib right now. So I think this tower doesn't mean a whole lot. We eventually back off, but it's too late. We should have already been here, in my opinion. Potentially killing Orianna or getting this tower. So a little bit slow on the rotation there, a little bit slow on the reaction there. Definitely something to keep in mind. In a game like this, when I wouldn't say we're super far behind, but we're definitely a good margin behind. In a game like this, I think what we should be doing is rotating to save whatever is the most important thing on the map. And in a situation like this, inhib is going to be a lot more important than our outer bot lane tower. I sat in base for a second there so I can finally pick up on what appears to be almost a complete Grail and some CDR boots. Honestly, CDR boots isn't really popular on Nami, but I really like it, especially when I'm running Transcendence, which I run more times than not. We find ourselves here in the bot lane. Again, I think I'm in the wrong spot. I think I should leave Ashe down here to maybe farm by herself. And try to get vision like over here, but at the same time I shouldn't be walking all the way up here. What vision do I get? I'll go ahead and pause this right here. So right now we're kind of struggling because they have most of our outer towers, but at the same time I should have some vision on the map. My support item is done, right? So I should have some words on the map. I should have had like this worded by now. I should have had like this worded by now. And what that would have allowed me to do is leave Ashe in the bot lane to farm one-on-one with Mordekaiser, just try to like farm up and get back into the game while also having vision. So in a situation like where Lee Sin tried to Q me just a few seconds ago, in a situation like that, she has all the vision and all the information and she knows that's coming. And she would have been able to get out of that just like we were. But I don't think me spending time in the bot lane there actually benefits us all too much. Instead, I should have been here in the mid lane preparing for something like this. Let's see. J4 is super low. He's probably going to live here, but he did have to waste a stopwatch. He barely lives. In a situation like this, he probably saves his stopwatch and lives a lot easier if I'm mid rather than bot lane there. So, again, same mistake twice in a row that I mentioned here, just being not in the right place at the right time. I think me being at that bottom tower when they're pushing mid is wrong, and I think me being bot lane with Ashe instead of mid lane right there is also wrong. I'm finally able to get some vision over here. That's because I know that they're top side, and I know that they had just got dragon, so I assumed a recall. I'm assuming now that I'm recalling because I finally have an item. And I don't, so maybe I just went back and got a control ward, which I guess is good because vision's going to be big. In a game like this, when you are, let's see, we're finally about 7,000 gold behind, 6,000 gold behind. In a situation like this, you do need to start getting desperate and try to make some kind of comeback play happen, and getting picks on the map is going to be really important when it comes to trying to make a comeback. So if you can make a pick, you have yourself a 4v5 fight. That's going to be your best odds of winning a team fight versus the team that you're really far behind in or against. So vision can be really important. Finally get a control ward down. Looks like I'm just trying to get some really shallow vision, which is good. I shouldn't be going too far out. Right now, we don't have anybody top. Looks like we have somebody AFK or waiting for items. I'm going to go back just a couple seconds because I missed the beginning of this fight. Let's see how this plays out. So Kayle starts a fight in the mid lane, but it looks like she's surviving a decent amount. We're able to get to her in time. This should be a really easy RQ combo into Lee Sin, which is good. We finally get the shutdown and the pick that we need, so we're in a 4v5 situation, except for our Sylas is AFK. We won't nitpick him too much, though, because this is League of Legends, and it's very rare you don't see a game without somebody rage quitting. But we did get the pick that we needed. We got the 4v5. Right now, I don't see anything I could do on the map. I already have vision. I have control ward and a ward top side. I have 2 wards bot side. I don't really see anything I can do, so that's why I'm just helping J4 right there. Do I rotate top here? No, I actually complete my recall. Irelia gets a double kill. Looking back at it, if I do rotate there instead of completing my recall, I still don't think I can help all that much. I have exhaust, sure, but I don't have my ulti, and it's really hard to land bubble on Irelia that's dashing all over the place. Now it is a 1v5 on the map, it appears. I can't do a whole lot as a Nami, but if I could have done anything here, I probably should have gone mid, maybe, and tried to push out a wave over here or stall the Mordekaiser. Instead, it just ends in a forfeit, though, because I'm stuck in a 4v1 situation. Anyways, the game ended a lot sooner than I was expecting it to, honestly. I thought we were at least going to fight it to the Nexus. I guess I gave up on this one. It ended up forfeiting it. Ended the game 0-1 and 6. Again, looking back on this game, I think that, of course, I could look back on this game and blame a lot of things, like perhaps the Kayle that died 8 times, or the Sylas that was AFK in lane, or the mispositioning that the Ashe had in lane and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if I were to just sit back and blame my teammates, then I would be oblivious to all the mistakes that I made. And I definitely made a lot of mistakes in this game, as I've already pointed out. Everything from my mispositioning in lane in the triangle situation that I was talking about, not prioritizing the correct towers, spending too much time bot lane, not getting vision down, trying to be too perfect and not layering my CC. There's a bunch of little things like that, and they definitely do add up. And I think that if I had played better, then yeah, definitely this game is definitely winnable. So I definitely can't just sit back and blame my teammates for this one. Overall, I think I learned a lot. There's a lot of things that I noticed in this game that I would have never noticed had I not gone back and watched this game. A lot of mistakes that I'm making that I just would have never realized that were big problems that I was making. So hopefully I can learn moving forward, try to make my way back towards Challenger, and hopefully end Challenger by the end of the season. Anyways, that is the end of this game. That should be the end of this video. Again, if this was a video that you guys did go on to enjoy, then feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Also, again, if you guys are interested in a one-on-one coaching session or a VOD review, the details or the information for all of that kind of stuff can be found down in the description below, as well as my Discord, my Twitter, my email, all that stuff for you guys if you are interested in contacting me. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching to the end of this one. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.